For this client, we're going to do a classic side part with a hard part cut in. This client is a business professional, so we want to have a haircut that when he has a suit on, he can be parted to the side, or if he's going out, he can style it up with some pomade, into like a pompadour or something like that. This is a great example of how to cut straight hair. At first glance, it might not look very difficult, but as I spin him around here, you can see how straight his hair is and how bushy in this round of the head section where the parietal area is and the occipital area in the back where it wants to stand straight out. So we have to be very careful. If we cut it, if the hair looks like it's going to pop out when you're brushing it and when you're combing it, that's a good indication that you don't want to cut any length. You might want to do some texturizing or thinning out. But for this case, what we're going to do is predominantly a razor cut to soften up this heavy area so it doesn't look like a shelf or it's really bulging out. And we want to do a nice low 1 to 2 finger really close taper. That's really going to make the outline of the haircut stand out. So a haircut like this, someone may come in every 2 or 3 weeks, but all we're going to do is redo the taper and some light razor work to keep it looking consistent. And then with these type of haircuts, especially as you can see on the part side here, it really wants to bulge out. So what we have going on, whenever you see this, if you look really closely, you can see that the hair is growing straight forward. So whenever the hair is growing straight forward, it has to be that much longer for the weight to hold it back. So that's the issue we're having. So all that hair just keeps pushing it forward. So by combing it with the growth pattern and doing some razor cutting, it's going to be thinning out that underneath layer that keeps pushing it forward. And that should take some of this bulginess away here. And then at the end, when we style it with some gel and a blow dryer and use a few different products, we should be able to take care of that. So to begin the haircut, we're going to start on the top and we're going to take a little bit off the top. But what I want to do is I want to leave the front longer. So to do that, instead of trying to just eyeball it, I'm going to over direct it to the temple area. And by doing that, it's going to leave the hair longer towards the front. And not only will it leave the hair longer towards the front, it's another way that we're going to cut this front length down a little bit. What I never like to do, especially with these side parts, because the front is supposed to be the longest part of the haircut, if I comb it down and cut it straight across, what I'm going to do is mess up everything I did on the top. Because everything I'm doing is leaving the front longer, but then if I comb it down and cut it straight across, we're going to have all these short pieces in the front. So the best way to cut the front is by elevation. So to begin, I'm going to start and create a guide in my center section, and I'm going to over direct it back to the temple. And if it's still too long in the front, I can always go back and not over direct it back as far, but that's where we're going to start. And I'm going to take very small, tiny sections so I can always see my previous guide. And it's 2 movements. You want to keep good tension on the hair so the hair's cut even. So with your pinky, you want to be pressing down and squeezing hard with these 2 fingers to keep that tension on the hair. And then when we pick it up with the comb goes in. I press the base of the comb against the scalp and rotate the comb. And see that tension that we have on the hair there? It holds and locks the hair in. And then we lift it right back up. Now as we get towards the back, as I showed you in the beginning, we have a really bad cowlick back here. So I'm going to stop at the back of the ear. So this traveling guide is going to become a stationary guide. I'm going to comb the hair all the way across, hold it down with my thumb, pull it forward. So all that hair that's going to stick up falls out of my hand, and then I'm going to cut it there. Okay, now spinning him around in the back. You can see how that cowlick wants to jump up back there. So when I cut this section here in the back where it's a little heavy, what I'm going to do is over direct past it and just clean it up a little bit right here. So one of the hardest things to do is when someone comes in for a haircut is to just take a little bit of hair off. And when you're dealing with men's hair cutting, and someone comes in every 2 or 3 weeks, a lot of times we're just taking a little bit of hair off. And then once I get to behind the ear here, my guide that I created in the back meets this length on the side, so I stop. And then I'm going to check the other side as well. It's just a little bit there, not much. I want to leave the length because I'm going to do a razor cut on this side. Normally that would create a heavy weight line here, but if I do it low enough, it won't. And when we style his hair, we're going to style it back with a blow dryer and some gel, and that's going to hold it back. So when you're dealing with difficult hair like this, you just have to pull every trick you have to use. So one panel at a time. Now right here, where we have a possible slight line of demarcation, I'm going to take the tips of the teeth and run it across the comb. And that's going to just blend. So you can see there, now we have no line of demarcation. Now I'm going to switch to my overhand grip where my hand is over the clipper. I'll bend the client's head to the side, and we're going to taper out the back. Okay, I want to use a 45-degree angle and come up just behind the ear. Now we can come up a little bit higher in the back, but not much. We have a little bit more room than we do on the sides. So in our consultation, the client said, again, you know, when he's a professional and has to wear a suit for work, you know, he wants to have that nice taper at the bottom, but not short here where it's going to stick out. So we have a very small area for the transition.
Are you a member of HowToCutHair.tv? Learn the art of men's barbering from third-generation master barber Greg Zorian in full HD, 24/7 from anywhere in the world. Sign up for your free membership and learn how to increase your efficiency and make more money behind the chair. HowToCutHair.tv.
Again, you can see with the comb, when you hold that comb correctly, you comb it down. So you don't even have to touch the ear and bend the ear out of the way. You're using a big clipper comb and you're protecting the ear. And then you hold the ear down and come at a 45-degree angle behind the ear. Okay, now this is the problem side, so we have to be really careful. We have to use even more of an extreme angle on this side to make sure that we don't cut up into here. And then if we have an area where it's heavier, before I go in and use the scooping motion with the blade, I'm going to do it with the comb first. So that keeps you from cutting it too short or cutting a hole in the hairline. So we do all that first. Then we'll go in on the corner. Then back parallel to the floor, so we keep that corner. And if we have a dark spot, that means the hair's either a little wetter there or it's thicker. And the only way to tell is by sticking the comb in and checking. Okay, so now this is the problem side, so we've got to be very careful. Keep that comb low and keep that clipper at that 45-degree angle. On this side, if you remember from before, the hairline around the ear on this side is higher than the other side, so I don't want to go around the ear and make it too high. I'm just going to come from the front. Now I'm going to close the blade down all the way. Get that hair out of there. And then we'll come back with the outliner. Okay, so now you can see we have a nice straight line and we kept our corner. And now on the bottom, we're going to just shave in an upward motion. And I want to stop about a 1/2 inch below the hairline where I left off with the other clipper. If I go up too high, then I'm in danger of having to bring the whole taper up higher. So now, when I bend the client's head forward, what I've done is I've split it across the back. Actually, let me show you this way here. You can lean back just a touch. So you can see his natural part, that's where it parts. Down the side and across the back. So we want to split it there. So we want to leave enough hair there to lay down. If I razor that, if I brush that forward and razor it there, it's going to make this hair shorter and stick up. So it's very important that you part it right where his natural break is. So now what's going to happen is by removing this top layer, when he brushes his hair back, even without any product in it, it's going to stay back. So when we put the product in, it's going to even look that much better. So I'm going to come from the top. Now the comb locks in the hair, because we always need tension on the hair when we're cutting. And this is the thickest part in the back here. I have the comb at a 45-degree angle, and I have the razor at a 45-degree angle. And you can see that we're not taking a ton of hair out of there, but it's just enough. Thinning shears would take quite a bit more. And I want to razor it in the direction that he's gonna wear it. He's gonna part it this way, so I want to lay that blade flat and pull the hair out and very lightly razor it, and I'm slowly pulling it in the direction that it grows. So now that stays to the side easy, and now when I push it back, push it up and back, it just stays there, even without any product in it. So now when we put product in it and we style it, it's going to work that much better. So now I have to work on the opposite side. So to work on the opposite side, what I want to do is I want to walk to the other side. So I'm standing on the other side of the client. And I'm going to comb the hair in the opposite direction. Now you can see when we comb it in the opposite direction, a lot of this hair from the top kind of fell over. But we have to be very careful not to press too hard because his part is under here. And if we press too hard, then we're going to wind up with short hairs underneath in the part area sticking out. So we have to be very careful on this side. So we want to lock in the hair with the comb. Okay, we're pulling all that hair forward. Now this is the difficult side right here, this side. This is the side we're going to make our money on. So we want to pull that hair down and hold it with the comb, down and forward.
Introducing Zorian of New York, premium grooming products for the modern man, designed by third-generation master barber Greg Zorian. Made in the USA and not tested on animals, each of our styling products is infused with natural ingredients and features light, clean fragrances. Our 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner is sulfate and paraben-free and color-safe. Do you own a barbershop or salon, rent a chair, or run a school? Find out how we support our retailers with world-class barbering education and product knowledge training. We're currently accepting applications for wholesale accounts and invite you to apply on our website, Zorian of New York.
So what I do is I just do a little bit at a time, and then I comb it back and see how it looks. And if it's still heavy, then I'll do a little bit more. I don't go in and try to take too much out at first or use too heavy of a grip, because then you're in danger of leaving a hole in the hair or taking too much out and it's going to stick out. So now we're pretty good. We have the top blended. Now I can repart it. Okay, because we got some of that top section done. And then I'm going to comb it back and see how it looks. So now it's combing back nicely, but it still seems a little heavy to me. So I'm going to do a little more. And if you have to in front, I can take the tip of the blade and I can go in a little bit with just the tip of the blade. Almost like point cutting or slide cutting with a shear. And then down here, now I'm going to pick the hair up and I'm going to do razor over comb. And this is going to blend it all together. So if somebody is going to have a difficult side to cut with straight hair, it's always going to be the side that the part is on, because it doesn't have as much hair as the other side to hold it down. It doesn't have as much weight to hold it down. Okay, now whenever you're combing the hair, it's a good idea to always close the razor so you don't cut yourself. So I'm going to comb the hair back, and that takes away that, that bowl cut effect that the client specifically said he didn't like when we had our consultation. And now I'm going to take a look at the back and make sure the back matches. So now the back is a little bit heavy still. So now I'm going to do the same thing in the back as I work my way across the back. So here we can be a little bit more aggressive with our razor over comb, just like we were doing a clipper or scissor over comb. So now we're going to style the client's hair, and what I want to do is I want to dry it all straight forward first, because that's the direction it grows. Then I'm going to dry it to the side, and then we're going to dry the front up a little bit so we can get a little height in the front. And then we're going to use a grooming cream or a styling cream. Because we just had a consultation and he would like to have a medium shine. He doesn't want it to look too slicked, but he doesn't want it to look too dry. So we're going to go with a styling cream with a strong hold with a medium shine. So I like to use a dryer with a nozzle on it so I can direct the heat. And it works a lot faster that way, and it's a lot more accurate. So. So as I said, we're going to dry it all straight forward first. Now we're going to dry it to the side. Okay, now after we're done drying it to the side, now we're going to lift it up in the front a little bit by holding the nozzle right at the roots of the hair to dry it at the roots and give it just a little bit of lift in the front. And then when we style it, we're gonna brush it all to the side with the styling cream and just up a little bit in the front. So now, as you can see, with all the razor work that we've done, even without any product in it, exactly the way he wants to style it, just by drying it with a hair dryer, it's going to stay right in place. But we're still going to put product in it, but I just wanted to make that point to show you the power of that razor cut on top, especially with straight hair. It's very, very important. So now we're going to take a decent amount of styling cream. Okay, so about that much. And you want to emulsify it through your hands. And you want to get it right down to the roots of the hair. So we'll start out on the top. And then use your fingers and get it right down to the roots. And then we want to spread it right where the part is. Then we can use either a comb or a vent brush. In this case, to go with a little bit of a neater look, more professional look, we're going to use a comb. So what I want to do now is, again, I'm going to comb it in the exact growth pattern, the way it grows in the circle. So we're going to comb it all forward. Okay, we'll take a look at the back here. And then we're going to start pushing it to the side a little bit and down. Now on this side, the problem side, we're going to go down into the back a little bit. Now all the time I still have more product in my hair, so we can push it down a little bit. I want to make sure we have that part in the right spot. And now we're going to lift the front up a little bit. Okay, we need just a little bit more product in the front, still just a little dry. Okay, then we'll spin him around. So now you can see where he was real heavy, where it wanted to fall down. It goes back just nice. We'll take a nice look at the taper around the edges, which makes the rest of the haircut stand out. And then we got rid of that, what looked like a bowl on the left side there on the part side. Okay, and there we have it. We have a nice straight hard part, parted to the side, a little lift in the front with the grooming cream, and he's ready to go.